WAPL Mornings with Laura Lee and Cutter.
You guys look good.
There we go.
It's a great setup. I should put my mic here. Even just a,
Just so it looks.
yeah, just it's fake. I mean, it's not fake, but I'm not plugged in, but it looks good. I need one of those gray things that you guys have.
Oh yeah, that's so we don't. Well, 'cause,
Makes it look like I'm
the
talking
radio
to like
studio.
a robot wiener.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
I don't know what a robot
Robot
wiener
wiener.
looks like, but
this is the robot wiener.
that is that what they look like?
Well, it also helps. I don't pop my P's and S's and stuff. It just helps me
Yeah,
sound
yeah.
professional.
Yeah,
Even though
yeah.
I've been doing this for 25 years. It helps.
Yeah, you don't want to be popping the peas in front of the robot wiener, that's for sure.
I don't want to be popping the P's during the robot wieners.
We are joined by a special guest this morning. Last time he was in studio, but now with the dang fangled internet, Dusty Slade gets to join us via Zoom. Good morning, Dusty.
Good morning.
All right, we're having a good time. I'm pumped to be here.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Dusty, you've been on a journey, and we were just talking a little bit off the air. Obviously, you have a new Netflix special called Wet Heat.
Yeah.
Netflix has sort of become like the new home of comedy. It feels like a lot of great specials are heading there.
But where'd that title come from, though? First of all,
Well, Wet Heat, what I like about it is you don't really know what it means. It seems a little provocative,
a little bit.
but it could be like I always think of like a show that used to be on USA called Silk Stockings. I don't know if you remember that, but
Yeah.
it was like murder and sex, and I feel like that's Wet Heat. Or like a buddy cop film down in Miami.
Yeah.
But it's really just a weather joke. I go out to Phoenix, I go, it's real hot. And they go, yeah, but it's a dry heat. And they say it like their heat's better than my heat. So I go, well, I like a wet heat,
Wet
And
heat
that's
just sounds like a sexy way of saying moist.
yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Wet heat feels good. And I was hoping people would see the title and go, what is he talking about? And then go watch it.
Fair enough.
It's on the adult section of Netflix. No, it's not.
But
It
it's
is,
like
but
totally an innocent joke. It's just a weather joke. It's fun. But I like saying wet heat. And I figure, what better way to get to say wet heat a bunch than to name my special that?
I like it.
Fair enough.
I like it.
Like,
It's a fun
think
term.
about, you ever think about like a dog name? Like you're like, oh, I'd like to name my dog this. But then you're like, oh, I don't want to be out in the park having to yell that name out all the time. Like my buddy named his dog Athena one time. And I'm like, that seems like a cool name for a dog. But I don't
Sure.
want to be out in the park going, Athena, Athena. It just seems like too much.
Yeah, but you have to
Syllables.
understand Greek history in order to really make it be weird.
I guess, but I just feel like it just seems pretentious to be yelling that out.
That's some pretend.
That's not like naming your dog Jesus.
Right. Well, that would be,
Yeah.
that would be pretty intense. Yeah.
Hey, by the way, Dusty, congratulations. We have survived yet another rapture.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I've seen some things on the internet say the 23rd, some say the 24th. So it could be.
So we got to wait through tomorrow to
Yeah, or
survive.
maybe we just didn't get taken. You know what I mean? Like, we just don't know. Like, what if all the good people were taken and we thought we were going to get taken and we didn't?
So I still have to be good for another day. Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. What if we went out to, this? I mean, I don't know. You guys have drove to work today. I'm still at home. And I would think my kids would get taken. But
Are they
wouldn't
still
that
there?
yeah, wouldn't that be a weird time for your kids to get kidnapped? You would be like, oh, at least they got taken. And then you find out they just got kidnapped.
Oh yeah, you're like celebrating the fact that my kids they're with God.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it though. I wouldn't. I would be
sounds
terrified.
weird.
All right. I'm getting a good sense of it.
My daughter didn't. She called in sick. She called in sick to school today, so I know she's staying home.
She's
She's
there.
going to hell. That's nuts.
Stop it. I'm getting a good sense of it, Dusty, but how would you describe your comedy as someone who's never seen it before? If they have not checked out Wet Heat, how would you describe your comedy?
Well, when I started comedy, I like to think I was a nice mix of Mitch Hedberg and Ron White. I like to think I had a little bit of storytelling, but the Mitch Hedberg style. That's what I would have said about myself. But I think it's changed a lot since then. But I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, I do got a bit of a blue collar slant, but I feel like I got, my comedy's pretty artsy. I feel like anytime somebody tries to be like, oh, this will be a good Larry the Cable Guy audience. And then I'm in front of a Larry the Cable Guy audience and they're like, I don't know, we're not into this guy. Um, I don't know. There's no way to describe it, I don't think. It's an indescribable comedy. What would you say?
Artsy comedy.
Well, that's what
I don't know that I've ever heard that description before for comedy. Artsy comedy.
Yeah, well, it's like I don't know. I mean, I felt like that. I don't know. I felt like people describe comedy like that a lot, but it's like, where comedy is not necessarily mainstream, but it can be mainstream. Like I'm palatable for everyone, right? It's like relatively clean. I say don't bring your kids, even though people keep bringing their kids, uh, because I got some adult jokes I like to do, but it's still pretty clean.
Right.
And then, but I get a little out there. I'm kind of like, the weird guy in the trailer park, the edgy guy in church.
Mm.
Uh, these are
I
my,
like. Now you're right. I mean, obviously the blue collar stuff, but I think as soon as you hear a Southern accent, you're like, oh, it's blue collar.
well, that's what I think too. I think, and then I wear a trucker hat and people think, oh, this guy, like I often think my dad likes my comedy, right? But I think my dad only likes my comedy because he's my dad. I think if my dad were not my dad, I don't think he would
Oh,
be into my comedy.
That checks out.
your dad supports you.
Yeah.
It's good
Yeah.
to have the good. Hey, no matter how old, no matter what happens, it's good to have the support of your parents, though, Dusty. So
Yes, for sure. But I just often think about that. I go, would he be into this if we weren't related? Like if I just came across my dad's feed, I don't think so.
yeah. Well, is your dad checking his feed very often?
And my dad
Internet
is
savvy.
weirdly gotten into TikTok and scrolling will get us all. It will get us
Yeah,
all. No
it's
one's
true.
immune to it.
Mhm.
It's true.
The
Dusty,
algorithms are too smart. They know how to get us.
Dusty's going to be live in Green Bay on November 22nd, Meyer Theater. Doing theaters. Last time, obviously, last few times you were here, you were performing at our friends at the Skyline Comedy Club. Now you're with the Meyer Theater in Green Bay, graduating to theaters. Congratulations on that. But like, that's a different universe to do a theater versus a comedy club.
It is. You know what? But weirdly, though, I started comedy in Charleston, South Carolina, and we didn't have a comedy club, but we got to perform at these theaters all the time back in the
Mm,
day. And so it was almost like a weird jump for me to go from that world into comedy clubs. But now I've been in clubs for so long that I mean, I love clubs. I mean, that's where comedy lives, is in a club. But a theater, it's very nice. You go in, people sit in chairs, they're facing the theater. They're facing the stage. There's no servers to give distractions. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. It almost makes comedy too easy to be in a theater. I mean,
Charleston,
people.
South Carolina. Charleston, South Carolina. Weren't you there for a while, Laura? Wasn't that one of the 87 towns you lived in?
Yeah, I've lived there for about 12 years. What theater was it down in?
Well, Theater 99 was where we did most of our stuff, the improv theater.
Mhm.
But they would do these festivals like they would do the Charleston Comedy Festival, or there was a Piccolo Spoleto Festival that
Oh
they would
yeah, I'm
do.
familiar.
So they would open up these theaters to us that, I'm not saying we were selling them out, but they would open up these theaters to us that normally they would just do plays in. I did the Charleston Music Hall a bunch of times. My friend Charles Carmody started running that, and he would let me do shows there. It's a 900 seat theater, and I would get about 50 people in there. And it was, but I would sell out the Theater 99 shows, which was about 130 seats.
Yeah,
I
there you
my
go.
I recorded an album at a theater downtown, the album Son of a Ditch, there, and I forget what it was called, something Playhouse. But yeah, I mean, I would get to do all kinds of little theaters in Charleston, and I did the Charleston Music Farm, which I don't think that was a theater.
No.
That's more of a rock club. But
Yeah.
bit of a theater feel, though. No,
I remember it had no air conditioning. If that's the one thing I took away from that place, never
yeah,
had AC.
I was there
in
from
Charleston
2000.
too. Ugh,
Yeah.
I was there from
the wet heat.
2004 to 2000. No, 2003 to 2014.
Okay, That's weird. You and I paralleled then. I worked. Not that we're having like this personal conversation on the radio,
No,
but
it's fine
been
though.
in radio for about 25 years, and I worked at the Bridge at 105.5, which put on a bunch of the Piccolo Spoleto
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
So
I remember the bridge.
yeah, so I
Yeah,
was there for a chunk of when you were there. So that's
yeah. I
sure
mean, I
that
was an alcoholic, blacking out, driving all over town. That's what I was
So was
doing.
Laura.
Yeah.
stop it. I was
Well,
not.
that's what Charleston does to you. Look, I talk about drinking and driving now, and people really gasp at it, and I get it. You shouldn't be doing it, and there's no excuse now because there's Uber and Lyft. But in
Right.
Charleston, there was these three little cities. There was West Ashley, James Island, and downtown. And we always said,
Okay.
as long as you were just between those little places, then you were okay. It was mostly all four lanes and well lit, and you didn't drive very fast.
Dusty, it's a very different place up here in Wisconsin. I've been here a year now, and people are working on their 12th, 13th, 14th DUI. And
It's a rite of passage.
yeah, apparently it's a thing up here. So
Well,
It's
yeah,
like welcome to adulthood.
yeah.
yeah. Well, all right. Well, good. So I'm talking to the right people then.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine with the drinking and driving jokes when you're in Green Bay at the Meyer Theater on November 22nd. Get your tickets at meyertheater.org.
I hear I'm coming on the first day of hunting season and
You are.
before a game. There's a game in Green Bay on Sunday, and I'm coming before a game. But
Is that the Viking game?
I've already
Is
booked my hotel.
Is that's Widow's Week? So we call it Widow's Weekend because all the men go hunting and all
Yeah.
the women are left to their devices.
That's
Um,
the Vikings
So
versus the
right
Packers.
down the street from you, there's going to be a male review. Um, you're not here for that. You're here for comedy. I just want
Yeah.
so everybody knows Dusty Slay isn't here. He's not going to be the headline performer at the Oval Office that night.
I mean,
Which is the local strip club. He's
I'll
at
do
the-
what you guys need to do. I'm trying to sell tickets, and
how late is the Oval Office open?
Well, afterwards, yeah, after the set.
carve out a little time for my show. That's all I'm asking. There's a lot of things going on this day, but carve out a little time for my show. It's going to be fun. Maybe we all go down to the Oval Office together after the show, and
Sure.
I don't know what that is,
Out,
but
but that's okay. It's a strip club that I worked at for way too many years.
you were the DJ or you were stripping?
I'm gonna let you
Column
guess on that
A.
one, Dusty.
Little from column B.
Yeah.
Right. I did work.
You guys are wild. This is a wild radio station. I had no idea.
I did work the male one week, 1 year, and that's a different universe too. Anyway, Dusty Slay Wet Heat is the special. You can find that, of course, on Netflix now. Live and in person, Meyer Theater, November 22nd. And as you told us before, and I'll post it to WAPL.com later this morning when I get this interview edited and put together, so that you can watch it and not just listen to it. There is a video, an animated video that you did of an old bit.
Yeah. Yeah, the letters of the alphabet bit. It seems educational, but it's a lot of fun.
I like learning and laughing too.
Yeah, it's not for kids, but it's not too bad. But it feels like this conversation, if someone just tuned in and then they were like hearing us talk about the strip club and you working there, and then they go, Dusty Slay, Wet Heat on Netflix. It's like, it's very confusing for
What is
people.
happening?
You know what? I'm good with it. It's Laura Lee and I's 1 year anniversary today of this radio show since Rick retired. So if they're turning in and being confused, that's just par for the course.
Yeah, that's our show.
All right.
Mhm.
I love it. And I love that you worked in Charleston. I won the comedy competition in Charleston 2 years in a row, 2012 and 2013. And then I was voted Charleston's best local comic 2 years in a row by the Charleston City paper. Not that that matters to anyone outside of Charleston, but since you lived there for a while, I just want to tell you those things.
Dusty, I'm sure, like you said, I mean, I probably interviewed you at some point, but again, the alcohol, I have a super terrible memory. And yeah, I don't even remember what I had for dinner last night. So it's
Yeah.
nice speaking to you for probably the third time, but it's my first time.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it feels good,
Yeah.
The
We're
third
having a
time.
good time.
is like the first
The
time.
third time is the first time.
The third time is the first time. Hey, there's a new special. Name.
It's a wet heat either way. You know what I mean?
What I'm saying. Dusty, thank you so much, man. Much appreciated. Thank you for joining us. Dusty Slay, Wet Heat is the special on Netflix, and see him live on the 22nd of November at the Meyer Theater, meyertheater.org for tickets. Dusty Slay, thank you, dude.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.